to repeal most of that, to stop it, to get rid of it. What the Republicans do is they don't make it any worse, they just don't fix it. And then the people get sick of the Republicans being a limp-spined, do-nothing party. And in their infinite wisdom, I think this is what I said last week, in their infinite wisdom, because they don't understand this, and I saw a recent poll on MSN that made it pretty loud and clear. They were talking about the election and third parties. And the question came up, how likely are you to vote for a third party? 68% of the sheeple that voted in this poll said no. So, America, you get what you get because all you're playing is a two-card Monty. Neither side is really different than the other. The only thing that happens is the Republicans don't do anything that damages the country like the Democrats do, but the Republicans will never fix it. So then we keep going in one direction. It may take longer for the Democrats, in their opinion, to get where they want to go. But the people who want that stuff repealed, and this is where I'm getting at. You know, we want bipartisan. We want every American to be represented, right? We don't want just Democrats' views, right? You and the Democrat Party, you wouldn't just want Republican views, right? That rule the country forever? No. So if you really want bipartisanship, then you have to take into account that there is a great deal of many people in this country that want the immigration problem solved, that do not want to be forced to pay for a health care system at all. If we don't want health care coverage, we don't want it. Leave us alone. And who wants you guys to control your spending?
Don't move a muscle. The John Lebang Show. Right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes!
Does your house need a paint job, but you don't want to do it? Then call Tom at Quality One Painting. He can handle all of your interior and exterior painting needs. He gives free estimates and senior discounts. Call Tom at Quality One. 313-982-2986. That's 313-982-2986. Quality One Painting.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, folks. Let's get to a little bit of news roundup because there are other things in the news cycle that happen, and it's not all about the omnibus bill and the border crisis. They'd like you to fight about it. They'd like you to argue with your neighbors and friends and have you chewing at each other all the time. They love the troll types, the malcontents that they can send out and do their, like little marionettes, and they go out on everybody's public posts and harass the living crap out of everybody. I mean, that's real good freedom there. Freedom to harass. Isn't that like bullying? That's what kills me is, it's never bullying when the left does it. It's never racism when the left does it. It's never wrong when the left does it. So in our little news roundup, Amazon, which doubled its profits and made more than $11 billion in 2018, won't pay any federal income tax for the second year in a row. This was brought up by the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy in a report they released on Monday. Hey, the company will not be required to pay a standard 21% income tax rate on its 2018 profits. Wonder how much you pay as a tax rate. But hey, let's continue. And it is claiming a tax rebate of $129 million, which the ITEP describes as a tax rate of negative 1%. Not too bad for Bezos over there. I mean, that's how you become one of the richest people, if not the richest person on the face of the planet. You don't get taxed for it. There's so many people. I know it. There are so many people that'll be mad that this guy's not paying taxes or Amazon's not paying taxes. I don't like the tax rebate. They shouldn't get money back. But I really do. I strive for all Americans to not have to pay income tax. Why should we be punished for being productive? Just me. But the policymakers, mainly Democrats, but you got some of those rhinos over there. Those people like taking your money because they can put it into pet projects. So that way they, get reelected, because that's what it's all about. Getting reelected so you can keep getting that check coming in, because these people, a lot of them, unlike Trump could go back to private life and still make a fortune. Most of these other people, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, if they didn't have the government in their past and they weren't part of the government, they probably wouldn't have amounted to very much in the private world. That's what happens with a lot of people on the left. And that's why they despise the people who work hard and make money, and that's why they want to punish you for working hard and making money. So I strive for every American to be like Mr. Bezos over there. And that's not to pay taxes. That way we can save our own money to maybe pay off that mortgage off soon. Because just think, if you didn't have that tax bill every year, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not talking about the people who get more back than they pay in. That's awful. What kind of garbage is that? That's why I don't like tax credits. The people who get the tax credits, that's nice. They love it. They love getting money from the government, even if it means it's more than they paid in. I mean, if they break even, then why even charge them for taxes at all? But if they have kids, because if they have tax credits, they probably have kids, you'd think they should pay more in taxes because their children have to go to public education. I mean, if they take them out and put them into private, then that's one thing. But I've never understood why people get tax credits for having kids when it costs more to the entire system to educate them and to have a safe environment for them. So maybe those tax credits shouldn't go out. Put all those tax credits into those schools, couldn't we? To help pay for those kids that are there. We want them to be safe and well educated, and we need more money for schools. So why not take the tax credits away from the people who have kids and let them pay for their children's schooling? That might control the population problem too. Let's move on, because I'm sure you don't want to keep talking about that. So much to talk about. We have NASA's rover finally bites the dust on Mars after 15 years. NASA's Opportunity, the Mars rover, was built to operate for just 3 months, ladies and gentlemen. But it kept going and going, rolling across the rocky red soil of Mars. It was pronounced dead on Wednesday, 15 years after landing where they said it landed. Flight controllers tried numerous times to make contact, and sent one final series of recovery commands Tuesday night along with one last wake-up song. Billie Holiday's I'll Be Seeing You. Goodbye, Mr. Mars rover. In a somber exercise that brought tears to the team members' eyes, there was no response from space, only silence. Poor rover's dead. Opportunity roamed a record. Get this. A record. 28 miles on Mars. Good sampling. So in 15 years, we did 28 miles, so it covered not quite 2 miles a year. Okay? Roughly, Mars is 2,100 miles or so, give or take a little bit. So they covered about 1%. So everything we found on that planet has to be based on 1%. It's like the climate change people. We can't... You can't base anything on 1%. You go, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here, that we can tell. But it's like the climate change people. We've been only studying the weather for a couple hundred years. I mean, direct temperatures and stuff like that. And they want to base climate change, which it's always happened, on a couple hundred years of data. Like that's a good enough sample to make a educated guess, a scientific theory. Now, Opportunity was a robotic geologist, they call it, equipped with cameras and instruments at the end of a mechanical arm, and every once in a while it would send us some selfies of its being out there. That was pretty interesting. I always liked how it would always take selfies of itself out there in the Mars desert. Its greatest achievement was discovering that ancient Mars had water flowing on its surface and might have been capable of sustaining microbial life. So, possibly Mars had water, although didn't we find a little ice on the moon too? So that doesn't seem to be very the final factor in life. But hey, it went 28 miles in 14 years, or 15 years, not too bad. I guess the samples of it, were whatever it was, and we might have found water on Mars, and that was worth... I don't even want to look into how much this project cost. Because then you start realizing that it probably wasn't worth the effort to go there and find out the little teeny-weeny stuff that we actually learned. On the very small, less than 1% or around 1% of sample of the planet. We would need 40, 50,000 Mars rovers to go to that planet to get an actual accurate look at what Mars truly used to be or is today. We can make some guesses with all the satellites we've plopped out there. I'm all for space exploration, but sometimes you got to wonder if the things we're doing is the best things to further our space exploration, and if it's actually the most efficient and cost-effective ways of doing it. Maybe we should worry about colonizing the moon first, since it's right here, if we're worried about going anywhere. In other news, this is a good one. Iowa Democrats to take caucus to the virtual world. Gotta love it. Iowa Democrat leaders announced a new option for registered party members to take